to Athletics LLC with Lamar, Lucious, Big League Chew, and my man Clyde. You're about to be schooled in all things track and field. This is experience.
Yes, sir.
We are talking past, present, future. Y'all listen up. Let's go.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Athletics LLC here. Thanks for joining us for another fun episode in the thick of a lot of things going on for one of us in particular. But let's start out with some of these introductions, and we'll get on to our lovely conversations for the night. Lamar in the Shadow Huffins. How are you tonight, sir? Besides
I'm
in the
great.
dark.
I definitely feel like I'm in the shadows, but I'm ready for it.
I know, figurative and literal all at once.
Yes.
Yeah, put your hearing aids in, sir.
That's how I feel.
Clyde, how are you this evening, sir?
No, I'm good. We all appreciate the EP for his grind this week.
Yes.
Nothing stops this show.
I mean, the testament will be in a couple weeks here, right?
Right. If we get look, but you know, me and Sir Lucious had this conversation. If we can get through a pandemic, we can get through the Olympics.
I mean, we'll see. Sir Lucious, last but not least, definitely not least. How are you tonight, sir?
I am doing well, my dear. And as my man Lamar in the shadows said, we're going to get through it.
Yes.
You know, the countdown to Tokyo has begun. I leave in like 10 days. And I can't believe I've said that, but yep, 10 days. And let's go. I'm excited. Let's start shooting. Once the first gun goes off, yeah, let's get to the first gun. I'm ready. So
Yeah.
I am.
I can only imagine, like, once the first gun goes off, like the days become a blur and everything is just like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I learned this a long time ago to go home every night after and just take notes about what I saw. Like, I went back and looked at my notes from the 2012 games. Oh my God.
Wow.
I can't believe what I saw today.
Yeah.
How fun would that be if you like video recorded yourself or like audio recorded that? So you could hear the excitement in your voice, you know, or whatever.
Yeah.
That would be, wow.
Well, and I had to do it right after, because by the time I get back to the village, there's no excitement in my voice by the time I get back to
That's true. That's true. Wow, that's crazy.
Like, you know.
Oh,
Right.
we always default to Lucius being mic'd up, so we just need to make it happen.
I know, right? I will say this, and I think Sir Lucius would definitely agree. When you go to the Olympics multiple times, when you get to go and just watch something as a fan, you realize like how awesome the Olympics are from the outside, because we're always working, right?
Yeah.
But like the best video that I have on my phone, iPad, or anywhere is the night that I went to the Olympics in Rio to watch the men's pole vault, and the guy from Brazil actually won. It's the craziest video I've ever seen, and like I was just a fan, and I think I had on a Brazil shirt.
That's funny.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
I'll say before we get started, I liked Tiana's note to Brittany Reese about bring your own Wi-Fi. So Sir Lucius, bring your own Wi-Fi.
Bring your own Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
We'll get him hooked up on how to do that.
Yeah,
You saw that in his face, right?
Yeah, he's like, we got
How do I bring my own Wi-Fi?
Okay. Yeah.
I love it.
That was awesome.
Alrighty. Well, let's get tonight started. Why everyone else came here besides the 3 other tiles. Making it a positive spin and making sure that we highlight some of the new things that are happening in the last few weeks here in the world of track and field. Let's talk about these new hires that have happened. You know, there are quite a lot, not even a few, a lot of names that are being dropped with different logos, different colors being attached to them now. Which of these new names with new schools are we most excited to see how they unfold and the successes that they can experience, I guess?
Can I go first?
Yeah, because I would hate to steal your pick again.
I mean, you might. It's a distinct possibility that you might. That's exactly why I asked. No, but in all seriousness, this time of year is always like, you know, we mentioned it before, exciting, stressful, whatever. For me, without a doubt, it's really not even close. I am most excited to see Mike Ford get a chance to lead the Baylor program. Listen, everybody has opinions about hires every season, right? Oh, this is amazing. Oh my God, I can't believe they did that. Like, everybody has those opinions. Every now and then there's just some things that should be. And in our sport, Mike Ford deserves the opportunity to run the Baylor program in his own image. And I am so excited that he got that opportunity. Bravo to Baylor, bravo to Mike. It's been a long time coming. And everybody I know is excited about Mike Ford at Baylor. So get it done, my guy.
And I would have stolen it, so I'm glad that you, because because it's funny. I was driving to a wedding yesterday, and my phone is buzzing, but I don't answer it because I'm driving. But then on the phone where my directions are, it just pops up. I got the job, and it's from Mike Ford, and I just started like this celebratory, going crazy in the car, like yes, but. I'm going to go a different angle, and I'm going to say I'm very excited. I'm happy and proud for Dorian Scott. He's new at UNLV. Dorian is a guy that if you ever sit and talk to him, if you ever watch him work, he's very diligent. He's very patient, and I think that Dorian might surprise some people out there. So I'm excited to watch that unfold. Very excited to watch that unfold.
And that's one of those that I don't think anybody really saw coming, right? Like that was, wait, what? Right. Really?
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah. Like, what I mean? That was cool to see.
Yeah.
That was a positive bomb dropped in my lap. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm here for that. I think my answer is probably going to surprise everybody on this panel. I am super duper excited to see what AT does at Vanderbilt.
Yes.
And I am super excited because very rarely does somebody have an opportunity to build a program that's in the SEC. And I mean, I don't want to assume how she's going to do it, but if I were going to use whatever common sense I have about what I think she's going to do, if she's successful at Vanderbilt, like, it's never been done. And I think she's got a chance to make Vandy into something more than even just relevant. And I'm actually really excited to see how that's going to play itself out. Sometimes the coaching carousel has unwilling participants in the carousel, so to speak. And I was very, very pleased that she was not cannon fodder, so to speak, of the coaching carousel. And I think she deserves the opportunity. I think she was a great hire, and I think it will be very, very positively interesting to see who she hires and how they go about it.
And the one word I'm going to use with Coach's daughter is energy. She will bring amazing energy to that program. She will. And I want to give a shout out to my man Quincy Watts. Excited to see what he does, with USC. I think Quincy's been he's not so much of a hidden gem now, but he's definitely a guy that he's helped. Over the last year, him and Carol working together, he figured some things out, and I'm looking forward to see how he transitions that program to the Watts era. That'll be interesting to watch as well.
Now, Chu, you ain't getting out of this one. You got to give us one.
You each took thoughts of mine already, so that's
I talked to you.
But I'll say I am very excited to see what Adrian's going to do at Tulane. Knowing how methodical he is, knowing how thorough he is, knowing how much of a foundation builder he is, and then to watch that build. I'm excited for that. Not that Tulane isn't anything, but we don't know a lot about Tulane track and field or cross country. We know them in my head for baseball. But so I'm excited for that, to see how that unfolds, and just like you said about AT, his energy is just emphatic. And so I'm really excited to see what happens there.
One side note I definitely want to drop in there is like, look, kudos to the athletic directors in this country for adding to the number of African-American head coaches at Power Fives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, people can talk about it, but we all see things get talked about and then nothing happened. But we didn't lose any brown faces and not replace them with brown faces. And I thought that was awesome. And we've added brown faces in other places, which I think is awesome.
And, especially in light of where this country was a year ago today.
Oh, man.
Indeed. And look, we're not, I mean, we all know how crazy this part of the year is. We're not even halfway through how all of this is going to
carousel is still spinning.
It's still building. It's still building momentum.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
we may need to bring this segment back, but like I said, it's a crazy time of year. But I find for whatever reason, sitting here watching it spin this year, to Lamar's point, I feel a lot of pride, and maybe it's just because I know a lot of the people personally who are landing in these positions, and I'm proud to see that. But like, it's a great time of year, and when you see positive things happening, it's fun. So.
What I like in particular is, we see the coaching carousel every summer. It starts as early as April and it goes all the way through like August, sometimes at its worst. But what we're seeing is people are making life decisions. Via the pandemic, they were able to see like, this is my passion. And maybe that wasn't coaching, and maybe like, hey, this family time, this familial like bond that we were able to take advantage of in the pandemic, like means a lot more than I thought. And I need to step away. And so it's great to see that people are able to follow their true passion, their true hearts, and take what it is for what it is, and not make it secondary behind a career or, what they thought was their professional passion, and be unhappy. So that's very courageous, and kudos to everyone who has stepped out of the game or restructured what they're doing because of what their heart is telling them, and for actually taking the courage utilizing the courage that they have within themselves to do that. So I think that speaks a lot to where we are professionally as well. All right, so kudos to those who have remained in positions and have gotten elevated or redefined positions as well. A lot of that has happened, so not to neglect any of those positions. Super exciting to see what people have done within where they are as well. So I want to make sure that no one feels neglected in that aspect. You don't have to get a new job.
Yeah. There's going to be some exciting times. I know, hey, our league got a total, like kind of a facelift. Yeah. So it's going to be fun.
Crazy. Another kind of feel-good question. So we're in our fields. So I apologize for those of you who are not. You might want to turn the episode off now. Come back in about 15 minutes. So this is a question from the audience. We've been at this will be our 67th episode. So what, right? So crazy. So from episode 1 to episode 67, reflecting a little bit, how have each of our relationships evolved, stayed the same, taken different lights within the 4 tiles here? Do we like each other more? Do we not like each other more?
I think our hostess should go first.
Oh man.
Oh, definitely.
Oh man. So I still tell the story. I told the story today. Episode 1, I was sitting in the chair and I knew I had to open the Zoom because it's my account. And I was freaking out, hoping that Sir Lucious was not going to be the first one on. And sure enough, Sir Lucious is the first one on, and I'm peeing in my pants. Like, now I have to have a conversation with this guy. I'm terrified. How do I do this? I'm shaking, literally shaking and sweating. It's ridiculous. And it was not warm at all. But now here we are, you know, first name basis is, it's so funny. Someone said this to me the other day. I don't remember what I was speaking to somebody else about, but I had referred to something that you had said. And they're like, Coach Holloway. I said, yeah. They're like, yeah. So people call him Coach Holloway. Like, we're not good like that. And I said, oh, okay. We're not in that circle. I was like, oh, okay, my bad. But I'll say this is one of the things, you know, moving around the tiles, what I like to bring to light each episode is Sir Lucious is human like all of us. He is the Godfather. He is the Almighty. He is the one that we all elevate to. Seriously, you are. But at the end of the day, you still lean on the wall to take off your pants or put them on your pants. So,
yes, he does.
Right?
Yes, I do.
But so that's like, you're human at the end of the day. You still have the questions and you still have the answers and you still have the bumps in the road. And so I love to be able to highlight that. Clyde, you and I have history, and, you know, I just love to know the background of you, right? To know why you think the way you, not all of it though, I understand, but like how you get to certain places and why you get to certain places because of your life experiences, because of the things that you've mulled over and just enveloped into what you call yourself as Clyde, I'm sorry, oops. You know, like how you get there. And so when people speak, whether it's negative or positive about you, and if it's wrong, I smile, because I'm like, and I always say this about any of the three tiles, if you take the time to get to know the person, that's all you have to know. And I think that's true of everybody, but specifically of these three tiles that I sit with every week, the personalities, the passion for what everyone does often gets misconstrued. And it's very unfortunate for those who cut those relationships off so quickly because of the misunderstandings. So last but not least, Lamar in the shadows. I mean, our relationship hasn't changed. You've been my mentor. So like, I think I can tell you F you a little bit quicker now at this point, but, but you know, I appreciate, as the conversation unfolds, is that everything that you say, you do, and you act on is always from the heart. And so I'll always know whether I agree or disagree with you. It's always out of a place of care and for progress. So I learned that more and more as our relationship as mentor-mentee gets older. We don't get older, just the relationship. But that's how the evolution for me as the three other tiles go.
All right, EP, you next, or you want somebody else to go next?
I'll go next. That's fine. I will. I'll go in reverse order. I think of that. You know, I think the biggest change. It's not really a change. It's just it's a progression and an evolution between myself and Big League. Is when we started, in my head, she was like one of the country's best kept secrets. And now I'm like the most proud person on the planet to feel like all I did was introduce her to America, and then she took over from there, right? like, you know, before Coaches Collab, it's like, hey, do you know Marissa Chu? She's blah, 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 right? Now I'm just like, do you know Marissa Chu? Oh yeah, she invented Coaches Collab, and oh, it's Big League, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, yeah, all of that. And so like, that's just cool to me. I've gotten an opportunity to kind of stand in awe of your growth over these 67 weeks, and it's pretty cool. Mr. Ryan,
Clyde.
I thought he's not Clyde Ryan.
Get it right, get it tight. He's Madonna.
I'm sorry.
One name.
I'm sorry. He's just one name. Well, Clyde, the evolution of Clyde has been amazing. I've known that young man since he was in high school. And yeah, I know I'm old. And these last 67 shows have just been, they've been amazing. Like, we've had a lot of back and forth banter type conversations in the past prior to this show, but none of them have been as well thought out, sometimes as diametrically opposed, but well spoken as the ones that we've had on this show. And I've grown to appreciate the other side of the coin, so to speak. I sometimes ask him questions wanting the contrarian answer because it makes me defend my own answer more. And I definitely think that makes you better. And last, and certainly not least, well, look, the genesis of this show was conversations between me and Sir Lucious just on walks and such. And I'll just say that, simply put, like 67 weeks later, we had a great idea a long time ago that really wasn't an idea. And the pandemic kicked us both out of the nest and made us fly and take on roles on this show and roll over and show our underbelly to a nation that either didn't really know us or didn't necessarily really like us. And I think it's been pretty awesome to see how the show conceptually has been received. And I think a great deal of that, Big League, you spoke to. It's like we introduced America to Sir Lucious, the real Sir Lucious. I told him one time that people think he's unapproachable, and he thought I was crazy. And I said, okay, I'm just telling you, people don't necessarily think that they can talk to you. And he has found out through this show that was 100% true. And now, because of the show, everybody thinks that they can approach him.
Appreciate it.
I think sometimes he wishes he could go back into his own personalized witness protection, but he's out now. So, it's been awesome.
I guess I'll go next so we can let our elder statesman close this segment.
The old guy.
You're seasoned.
For me, the question is about the evolution of our interactions. And I knew all of these people in one form or another prior to us deciding to put this crazy idea into motion. And for me, it's the evolution of my interactions with these people is really kind of simple. I could legitimately say that prior to this process, I considered all of these people my friends. I can legitimately say that. Now, 67 weeks later, because we have these conversations, and I mean the ones off the camera, because please believe me, however long y'all think this show is, or however long it is week to week, the pre-show and the post-show are so much longer.
Much longer.
And it's through these weekly dialogues with these people where now they're, I consider them all a part of my family. And that's simple, but that's also for a person like me who is not very close to very many people by design. That's important for me. And, so to me, it's really, really that cut and dry. And I'm grateful for it. And I will always give props to the EP for pulling the trigger on such a thing. I will say the one The one thing that I worried about when I was like, yeah, sure, we'll do it. No problem. Let's go. The one thing I worried about was the show going to come off in a way where we could actually all be authentically ourselves? Because I didn't want to be a part of anything where I had to feel like I was forced into some kind of
character.
Right. And I know we play our character names, but what you hear for us speaking from is all legitimately who we are. And that's been the fun part for me, is that everybody gets to see that.
Well, I find it interesting that you thought that anybody could force you to do anything. So we'll start.
Amen to that.
Right.
Amen to that.
Trust me, that was never a thought of anybody on these titles. And for me, I mean, you guys know me well, and I like to watch people grow. I like to be a part of that growth when I can, and I'm like that guy that wants to feel like I'm helping mold something all the time. And like every week when we sit down and we talk, watching the evolution of you three as people has been amazing for me. Every one of you have changed a lot in my eyes in the last 67 weeks. Listening to your passion, listening to your pride, listening to like Clyde said, this stuff is well thought out. This is not just some, endless banter where we're just talking to be talking. And for me, like, you guys are part of my family. We have those times when we get at each other, and we have those times when we support each other, and we have those times when, we're just us. And that's what makes it work for me. Like, my best friends in this world are the people that I know what I'm going to get from them when I pick up the phone and call them. And that's what you guys, now that Big League knows I'm not going to, bite her or something, we're good. Like, it was clear, like in the beginning, like, I'm like, girl, if you don't quit tripping, just talk to me. I don't mean to bother you. You're not bothering me.
I know.
So that's been the wonderful part of this for me, is like, I've gotten, obviously I knew Clyde, I knew Lamar, but I've really gotten to know Clyde a lot better. And, Lamar and I, this has been going on forever. And, Big League's like, another one of my children now. So it's just, it's been awesome. And I'm 67 weeks. Wow.
Right.
Amazing.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
So quick stories about each of the tiles real quick. For me specifically, like vivid memories. So in Orlando, Lamar says, get up in the morning. We're going to have breakfast with someone that you need to have breakfast with. And I was like, I don't want to get up. He's like, no, you're going to want to get up. So I get up, put myself together, and we're going to have breakfast with Sir Lucious and his wife, and then Coach Anderson from TCU. And I'm sitting there like, I don't belong at this table, and I don't know how to breathe right now. Just don't choke on anything. Oh my God, hurry up and just finish breakfast. And it was like, oh, so funny story there. Clyde, if people go back to that same year, that same convention, the fast person run night thing.
The Mondo.
Yeah. The run the fastest 30 or whatever the fly was. We were all sitting in, I guess it would be the lobby, but not the lobby, the hallway of the venue, talking about it. And, that was 30 minutes of a prelude of this minus Sir Lucious, because that's what we were doing, was talking about Mont and that foolery and all that stuff. Right?
Absolutely.
And then Lamar, so funny enough, the night that I met him in person, and it's funny because how Lamar says that he's known you, Clyde, since high school. His first thing out of his mouth was, well, you must not have been that good in track because I didn't recruit you at Cal. And I was like, well, shit. I didn't say I was good.
I worked for 67 weeks to not be the a-hole, and you, in one fell swoop story, returned me to the a-hole.
Like, he legitimately said that to my face. I was like, well, I never said I was
ashamed of yourself.
I am. She keeps telling the story.
Hey,
So
you know what?
Since then,
we might mute you for a couple of minutes for that.
Oh man.
So
I know it is.
I say those stories to say that you know, this is the reality. This is the true people that are behind the tiles, behind the names, behind the coaching facades. They're not facades, but the coaches that we see at other meets. So I say all that to say that everyone is human. Please say hi to each other. Please acknowledge each other, and please be nice to each other, because everyone is human and everyone does have emotions. So that's why I tell those stories, because you're often inflating what is actually on the other side. So those are my little anecdotals.
Those are phenomenal comments. And I don't think people realize that, you know, everybody in the world's going through something. You know, it's like, learn to look beyond your nose, and just, it's not that hard to be nice to people. No. It really isn't. And, you know, like, again, for me, as Lamar knows, I look forward to these recordings, because we always learn something from each other. And I'm big on continuing to learn and develop and grow. And if I wasn't developing and growing, I wouldn't be doing this for 67 weeks. I can promise you that. So.
Oh, awesome. 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 Okay. If you're done with your emotions, we can come back now. Come back to the screens. So let's talk about the hot, I mean, it is a hot topic because it's coming up in 10 days, like Sir Lucious mentioned. We've got the Olympic Games coming up, but this particular set of games is unique for so many reasons, right? So whether they be athletically or non-athletically related, what are some of the unique attributes to the games this summer that you all are thinking about, excited for, not excited for?
I think one of the most unique experiences that the athletes in this year's Olympics are going to face is, I think that it's going to be, they're going to become the fan base for each other. You know, I think because the athletes will be bubbled and they'll be able to move within Olympic venues and in secured ways, there may be more athletes that go see other sports than maybe any other Olympics ever. And they will probably be each other's fans because there won't really be fans. And I think that will make for a very unique Olympic experience. You definitely remember who you were in the Olympics with, and you make I have some of the coolest pictures on the planet. Like I cherish my picture of me and Simone Biles because I'm on one knee and she's standing and she's barely taller than me and she's ridiculously amazing. But I think that some of those pictures from this year's Olympics, like, man, those could be amazing.
You threw a word out there that when I heard this question I had on my brain, which was bubble. A lot of people have a lot of opinions about the NBA playoffs that happened in the bubble. I've always said that from a mental standpoint, it's the hardest championship the NBA has put on. And I agree. And I think the unique challenges of this specific Olympics are going to be mentally devastating for a lot of people. And you're not going to know that until you're in there, in that kind of isolation with no fans. And no doubt some people are going to rise to the occasion and give us all-time, spectacular performances, because that's what the Olympics always produce. But I think one of the biggest intrigues about the games in itself, and our sport in particular, is our sport's already the toughest mentally. There's no team, there's no other people that are going to help you deliver the performance you need. You can't rely on someone else to save you from a bad performance. Like, it's already the most mentally grueling aspect. And now that weight is going to be even more. And like I said, for some people, I think that that's going to, push them to levels that maybe some of us never even thought are possible, but it's going to break a lot of people too. And that's going to be intriguing to watch. I don't wish that pressure on people, but it exists. And the best of the best are going to find ways to deal with it. And, no, there won't be a sellout crowd. There won't be any crowd. but that type of intrigue is almost more interesting to me. And so that's one aspect that I'm definitely looking out for and going to be watching and following how people handle it.
Now, I'm going to talk about patience and perseverance. Oh, must be patient. There's been reports that upon getting to Tokyo, that it's taken 3 to 5 hours to get through customs. So patience and perseverance in that situation, right? The other uniqueness of this is like, like you guys spoke of the fans and what you can do and what you can't do. And I think the biggest thing is like, it's the Olympic Games and it's going to be special. The challenge for the athletes is going to be to behave themselves. And because it's the Olympic Games and people want to go out to the city and do things, can't be a tourist on this one. You have to, like I think we all remember, we've heard the stories about the silk shops and the cheap clothing and the cheap bags and all that stuff. There will be none of that this year. So, just let that go. And I think that for me, I'm just most excited to see the world come together and the athletic world come together and get it right. Be safe, do the right thing so that people can see the phenomenal performances, because when have we ever had this many great performances leading up to an Olympic Games?
And not just in track and field.
Exactly. Like this is about to be something very, very special. So yeah. I think the uniqueness of it is going to make it, the uniqueness of the NCAA season made some interesting things, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know the football championships. We won't call it a playoffs. We don't get Clyde going. The football championship. I mean, the brilliance of the Alabama offense, right? That happened. The women's basketball tournament, the brilliance of that, the brilliance of the men's basketball tournament. There was just so many great things. And then we saw the whole thing with no fans didn't seem to bother the people at the indoor track championships at all. So I think if people will just show up and go with the flow, so to speak, you're going to see some amazing things. And talking about being a fan, oh, trust me, if we had gotten there early enough, I was going to swimming. No doubt about that. Yeah. Yes.
And this is a more of an off-track discussion, and I don't know this to be true, but man, I really, really hope that this is the case. Because of the unique dynamics of this, because this ultimately is an Olympics 100% about television, I'm really hoping that the people in charge of television understand their responsibility and step their game up to levels that we haven't seen in the past.
Oh, yes. Because, look, when we were all kids and you're shooting if you had a basketball court, you're shooting in basketball courts, or you were, whatever you were doing, right? At the end of that successful imaginary thing, what do we all say? And the crowd goes wild. And this year, to Clyde's point, television is going to have to make that happen. Right? Like they're going to have to make those crowd goes wild moments via TV. You can't you won't just be able to show the crowd because they are going wild, because that's not going to be it. Right? You're going to have to really, really focus on the performances and the emotion of the performers and the people immediately surrounding them, which is where the story always is anyway. So I could not agree with you more, Clyde, that I really do hope that television steps its game up, because they got an opportunity to do something special.
Yeah, and I totally agree. And I think this is a great opportunity for the backstories, right? Like the NFL, the NBA draft moments where they're showing the family when the person gets drafted, showing the families as they watch their children compete, their spouses compete, their fathers and mothers compete. That's going to be an incredible story. I don't know if you guys have heard that NBC they're giving families the opportunity to fly down to Orlando and watch the meets together.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's great. Yes.
Yeah.
Things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then I'll show the emotions of those moments.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right. Go ahead. What we said, do that.
Just do the backdrops. There's so many in every sport. I want to learn who these people are by watching my television. I want to see the races, yes.
Yeah.
But I want to know who these people are at the end of this.
So Clyde, go ahead.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I'm gonna give a perfect case in point. During the Olympic gymnastics trials, when they were announcing the team, they showed all of the athletes' families, and they made a point to tell us that they were all wrought with emotion because this was the last time they were going to see them. Because they won't get to see those performances in real time. And I thought that was wonderful because you could see the emotion in all of those parents' faces because they already send those kids off to places to train remotely. And this was literally the last time they're going to see them till they come home from the Olympics. And that kind of stuff is the things that you guys are talking about, right? Like you can show a performance and then show a whole group of families in Orlando, crying and hugging each other because they can't be there.
So what I was going to say was, Clyde, in your very own backyard, there's a young lady that's going to the Olympics at the age of 13 for Olympic weightlifting. She's going to represent the United States, but she's of Tongan descent. So she came from the Samoa, she has Tongan descent. She's from Samoa. She came here as, like, I think it was as a young kid. I can't remember. But because she lives in HP, Hunters Point, for those who don't know, she got into athletics to make sure that she was focused on the right things, and her family did the same thing. And now she's going to the Olympics. And that's crazy in itself. To represent the U.S. as a Polynesian, to represent the U.S. The family itself, I taught some of their family, but the Moi Moi family, she's a Moi Moi. I think that's crazy. And that's a wonderful story because if you're from the Bay Area, you know what Hunters Point is like, and you know what being from HP is and what that means and doesn't mean for you. So yeah, like being able to know these backstories and the trials, tribulations, and pathways of the athletes, how they got there, is just in itself amazing to the performances that they will give us on TV or not TV at that, Anything else that we want to highlight unique to these particular games?
I mean, this isn't necessarily from a fan's perspective, but I just, and I'm sure the majority will, but I hope that the athletes, the ones especially in our sport, find an opportunity to really like take in while they're there what it is they've done, what it is that they're accomplishing before they're whisked out of there 48 hours after after they're done competing. Like it's gonna go by way faster than they probably imagine, and with all of the travel and the isolation and the downtime and all this other stuff, like I really hope that everybody just takes a minute to fully appreciate, like this is the most unique Olympic experience there will be. Now, whether or not that's a positive or a negative, it's still going to be unique, and there's something special to behold there. And I really hope everybody that is fortunate enough to make that trip, takes time to really breathe it in and appreciate it for what it is.
Sorry.
Yeah, Lamar, you're making me sick right now. Literally.
Rumble bus. And you now that's better because you kind of cut off the top of your head there for a second.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Come on, man. Try. You take your medication this morning?
Yeah, yes, I did. You
might be
keep
wearing
making
off.
that sound. You keep making that sound. That actually happened to me today. I was not to me. I was on a plane, right? As the plane was landing, like literally like bounce, like, when the landing, I hear the lady 2 spots over to my right say something about, I'm going to throw up on you. And I was like, what? Because I think she was trying to get the lady next to her to move. It didn't happen. And the poor lady, I felt so bad for her because she was a larger lady and there was literally no way she was getting up fast enough anyway. Just all over herself, all over the seat in front of her, all over the floor. And I was just like, oh, and like I moved so the lady that was sitting directly next to her could move into my seat. Cause I mean, I can't imagine like what that would feel like. I was like, oh my God, that just happened. Right. Right. Get me off this plane immediately.
Oh, gross. Ew.
Hey, but that would not stop this show.
I mean, speak for yourself.
Oh man.
Well, the only thing that stops the show is when episodes just mysteriously disappear. That's it.
Oh my gosh. The ghost
Seriously.
episode.
Ghost episode. Yeah.
The internet gods had to snatch punch. It is what it is.
They test us. They be testing me every week. Sheesh.
Oh man.
Sheesh. Anyhow, well, to continue the fun as we always do, we've got rapid fire.
Oh man.
I need to figure out sound effects. Somebody help me out. I need sound effects because
you need a soundboard.
Yeah, because my sound effects are lackluster.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. You're not going to make the acapella group.
I know, right? We're the Bellas when I need them. So anyhow, Lamar in the shadows is in the seat today. So
oh man,
you need to put your seatbelt on. You know, want safety first. So yeah. Anyhow, all right. You ready, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the next verses is the Locks versus Dipset. Who you got?
Locks.
Good answer. Hoodies or crew neck sweatshirts?
Girl, stop. Hoodies.
Okay, that was a question. Sheesh. That's an FU moment. Thank you very much.
I didn't mean it like that. I just mean like literally. I think hoodies are like top 10 things that man has ever created. It's like up there with duct tape. That's why I said, "Girl, stop." Like I love hoodies, so like.
Okay. Given the current recent festivities, did you have Shohei Ohtani winning the home run derby? FYI, spoiler alert, he didn't win.
I did not. I had Pete the Polar Bear winning because he's Pete the Polar Bear and he's literally built for the home run derby.
Got it.
He will not get fatigued from swinging a small bat.
Peanut butter, creamy or crunchy?
Creamy. Like both, but like creamy way more.
Got it. I asked this question last week of Sir Lucious, but what is your Woo-song move?
Ooh. A walk and lots of music.
Got it. Got it.
Like, and it's funny because the music changes during the walk. The walk music always starts angry.
I was gonna like, are you going DMX to like Aretha, or are we going like Keith Sweat?
No, we're talking about like we're talking about original angry Eminem. Like, and it gets all the way down to like, you know, Stevie Wonder by the end. But for sure, the beginning of the walk is definitely angry.
Oh, goodness gracious. I asked this question 2 weeks ago. Who is your favorite female ESPN broadcaster? Jeez.
Current or ever?
I believe the parameter I gave was ever.
It wasn't, but that's okay.
Oh, just kidding. Present then. Damn it.
You know, it's an odd one, but I am a huge fan of Linda Combs because she's just a rock star and has been like the Rock of Gibraltar at ESPN since ESPN basically started. I mean, first of all, like you need to recognize Linda Combs used to be a goalie. And there is live footage of her on ESPN stopping slap shots. And I'm
not surprised that you knew that.
Well, for one, I'm a yeah, but Linda Cohn's
Endless
amazing.
supply of useless information, but then
Absolutely.
Last but not least, who is the Karate Kid? Ralph Macchio or Jaden Smith?
I mean, again, I think
This shouldn't
Jaden
take so
Smith
long.
did. No, I'm giving a real answer. I think Jaden Smith did a great job as a remake, but he's just a remake. Like Ralph Macchio is now and will forever be the Karate Kid.
Okay. I thought I was going to have to punch you through the screen. I'm just saying.
No, you can't have a Karate Kid that does not have to fend off, sweep the leg, Johnny. I mean,
Put him in a body bag.
put him in a body bag.
For the record, if you have not binge watched Cobra Kai on Netflix, you must.
Right.
I've heard this, and I think that is going to be a thing I will do before the summer is over.
No, you must.
My daughter loves that show. And when was it? Season 3 was the most recent.
Yeah, but your daughter can't love it properly because she has no context. That show,
But she does no.
People our age.
But she does. She's such an old soul. She loves all those like the 80s, 90s movies. Like, yeah. So she loves the original Karate Kid. She actually doesn't like the new Karate Kids. But so she wanted to try to distribute the episodes. And then like 5 hours later, she's like, Mom, I watched all of season 3. I was like, I told you, like, you need to step away, kid. And so she's literally like, no, I have to wait for a season.
Yep, gotta wait.
But Lamar, you have survived.
Not really, because.
Oh no, you haven't. From the other two, there was something I was going to say too. Dang it! Go ahead, I forgot.
All right, so in the film room, sir, I want you to tell us a movie that you absolutely love that you are ashamed of.
That is a really, 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 really easy answer. Big League made reference to it earlier.
Pitch Perfect.
I'm like the biggest Pitch Perfect fan you've ever met.
I love it.
I'm mad at you.
Yeah, right?
If the movie's on and I walk by it, I will stop and watch it.
Just the first.
Yeah, I've never.
I love them all. But the first one is iconic.
Yeah, I haven't seen the other two, but the first one is iconic.
Really? Oh, we've got to watch it. They're not as good. They are entertaining, but they're.
Yeah. They do a great job of following a story that really should have stopped with one movie. They do a really good job of stretching it out believably.
As do most sequels and trilogies. Most of them do that.
Right.
Yeah, but they did a good job of like making it believable.
All right. So I may go venture out to watch the second one now. But so in light of the NBA playoffs, which as of tonight's taping is now tied. Who is your all-time favorite NBA center?
Ooh.
My favorite NBA all-time center.
There are no centers in this final.
Well, there kind of is. It's just one that dribbles a lot.
All time.
I know. I you know me. I don't want to give a fake answer. I want to give a real answer. You know, I believe he played center, but because he's like power forward size. But Akeem the Dream Olajuwon?
Who's a center?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was just making sure. I know he's like 6'10", 6'11", so he's probably my favorite because, I mean, I didn't see Wilt play, and I only saw old Kareem, who was really good. Don't get me wrong, but I didn't see Lou Alcindor. I didn't see Buck's version of Kareem, right? Like I just saw video of, but I saw Akeem the Dream Olajuwon, and I saw the evolution of the center position. Like Dream Shake is a real thing, right? And every center has it, right? Like he was the first one to do it, but he did it first, and they all learned it from him. And yeah, like I always loved Shaq, but he's just a physical monster. Like I don't want to diss Shaq and say that he wasn't skilled, because it is a skill to do what he did. But Hakeem is my favorite because he was just so skilled. In a world where centers weren't, right? Now, you know, you're expected to be skilled if you're on the basketball court, in theory.
Yep.
Not to let this go by, we have to give special kudos to Lamar because he just endured his first MLB draft. And in celebratory fashion, he has had his first player signed, drafted, I guess you would say, respectively to the MLB. So congratulations, sir. That's big, right? That's big. That's like saying you got your first recruit as a college coach. So, or to me anyways, I don't know.
Thank you very, 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 very much.
Yes. So, good stuff. Keep up the good work. Wrapping up the show, as always, heartbeat props. Giving just roses, kudos, hugs, love, to those who can still receive them. Anybody?
I'll go first.
Go for it.
You know, look, it goes to basically what you just mentioned. Kudos go to one Mr. Spencer Packard for being the first person that was under my care and my guidance and tutelage and representation who was taken. But I'm going to say an equal kudos to those who endured 3 days of the MLB draft and were not taken. Don't take that personal. It's not you, and your self-worth has to be about you and the work you put in, and there's more baseball to play.
I'll say, so I've watched drafts in the past, not necessarily every year, but the commentators on day one did a really good job about highlighting that it's not a personal choice, that it was a strategic or a business move or a money move, and that it wasn't based off like whether you were good or not and whatnot. It was literally, you know, this is why so many high school players got taken in the first round versus people who are going to play immediately. So I thought they did a really good job about that on day one. So yes, just to solidify that fact. We've never been this quiet before.
I was going to say.
I'll go next.
Okay.
So I'm going to give my heartbeat props to some members of my family. As most of you know, my mom has been a little ill over the last few months, and I'm gonna give my heartbeat props to my two nieces, LaTanya and Tiffany, who have stepped up and been there every single day, all night, all day, whenever mom has needed anything. Love you guys, appreciate you, and I will make sure you guys get to see this. Tiffany, behave yourself, and you know what I mean. So. That's my girl. She will cut up now.
Don't let Uncle Lucious come to Ohio.
Exactly. She knows I'm coming.
That's so funny.
Man. So many directions to go this week. I'm gonna keep it on the track, since a lot of today's show wasn't actually on the track, which is rare for us. Again, stories, narratives. The Olympics are getting ready to start. One of our just underappreciated all-time greatest athletes, man, Brittany Reese. Doesn't get enough love, doesn't get enough attention.
Needs to carry the flag.
Needs to carry the flag. Undisputed GOAT of the women's long jump. And we're never going to see her again at the Olympics. Like, I don't think people are really grasping the you know, how big of a moment this really is. And
have you run that by B. Reese?
Hey, that's what she said. That's what she said.
Okay. As long as she said it, I'll buy it. Because I'm like, it ain't but 3 years from now.
I ain't say she was retiring. I just said she said last Olympics. She said that. So, you know, who knows? Maybe they can squeeze out one more. But Like, all eyes should be on Brittany Reese. They really should. And the field events don't get enough love anyway. But for the athlete that she is, for the human being that she is, for all parts of her story that don't get told. Oh, by the way, she's a mother too, you know. Like, so many parts of Brittany Reese that people don't know and don't get enough attention on. And she's just one of the better human beings in this sport, man. You know, that's one of the events I am absolutely excited to watch, and it's because of her presence in it. So go get him, Reese. One more time, girl. Go do your thing. We're all waiting on you.
Yeah,
The long jump beast.
Indeed.
I love it. My heartbeat props go out to the track and field youth. Seeing their results come up daily, I feel like it, but it's because I don't know what the different days are at this point. Just what they're doing, how hard they're working, the travel that they're going through, the practice that they've put in, seeing these summer meets happen and these great results for not even respective to age groups, just great results that are happening. Keep it up. You know, if your aspirations are go to the Olympics, then keep working. If your aspirations are just to run faster each time, run faster each time. I have the privilege to work with the run, jump, throw program this weekend. I'm super excited to see what I get to see, because just being able to watch them have fun do it is going to be enough for me to like just overwhelm the heart for a few days more. So to all of the miniatures track and field athletes out there, keep doing what you do, and coaches alike, thanks for taking it, because it's a special heart to do that. So, well, man, I bet people were not ready for this episode. They thought it was going to be so different.
Well, we got Olympic predictions next week, we promise.
Yes, we are going to be just selecting events to give our predictors for. We will on air, online, commit to those.
Maybe we could ask the audience to give us some events they want us to pick.
Ooh, yes.
Ooh.
Yes. So either comment on the episode or send them to me directly, or any of us at that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to come to me.
Yes, it
doesn't mean they're all
does.
gonna
That's come to you.
No, it doesn't. They may not all get selected, but we'll definitely have some heavy hitters and maybe some sleeper events for sure. But as always, gentlemen, thank you so much for taking the time. So Lamar, wherever you're going, wherever you're headed, get back wherever you need to be safely, as always. Clyde, I definitely thought there was a ghost in the back of you or behind you, because your verticals were moving for a second there. I'm not gonna lie, I got a little scared. If you only knew what I had to go through today. And last but not least, Sir Lucious, as you get ready to head out, I know we've got another week on the towels before you actually leave the continent. Universal, Wi-Fi, and enough draws. That's the most important.
Let's see. The other stuff, I'm good. We gotta talk about this Wi-Fi deal. But.
Yeah, we're gonna get him off camera. We'll get him on.
We got you.
Yeah.
We got you.
We got you. We'll teach you how to take your own Wi-Fi.
All right, y'all.
Bless America.
Goodness. Yeah, we're gonna cut this off before he makes one of us throw up. Right. Everyone have a safe week. Good stuff. See you soon. Thanks, everyone.
When the lights come on, the road just get to running. When the lights come on, opponents smash the plumbing. Heard you like it warm, hot knife the butter. Truth pin them hard, knock them off that rebuttal. Tsunami, tidal wave to your puddle. Tough love, punch you in the arms, little brothers. Athletics, LLC, there's no others. Track and field's place and we'll peel to go further. Hey, Wally, Coyote, it's road runners. Feels like you know us, you've been with us the whole summer. If not for this quarantine, these four corners wouldn't be here, but we here, so start learning. You gotta earn your stripes, gotta get your scars. Show you how to fight, but show us who you are. You lack experience, but still you wanna talk. And who is actually talking to you? Circle's kinda small. Heads prevail when the backbone's strong. Gotta keep it coming, no, it won't last long. Pass and fail, then sell the sad song. And if you don't check yourself, then that's wrong. Just trying to give you the real that you asked for. So why you keep cutting us off to ask more? We put it in slow-mo, but you fast forward. Athletics, LLC, the task force.